First of all, to express my profound gratitude to the President of Tatarstan, Rustam Minikhanov, for his gracious invitation to this particular meeting. This is the second one that I have attended in this, of course, beautiful city of Kazan. Apart from that, it gave us an opportunity to see where Islam came to Russia in the beautiful area and region of Bulgar. I think we saw the site where you plan to build the Islamic Academy. I think this in itself will be the very first test of how cooperation between Russia and the Islamic world lasts. I also would like to compliment the President of Russia, President Putin, for his very visionary statement. President Putin is one of the remarkable statesmen of present times. He is a man of extraordinary experience, and I think the manner in which he has brought about the resurgence of Russia for its rightful place in the community of nations is a tribute to his vision and to his wisdom. It's very important, and we also recognize that he has made significant contribution to peace and stability. And I think for peace and stability, not only in the region but also worldwide, his vision is absolutely imperative. Russia is a huge country, a country with very rich history, culture, and enormous economic potential. You're a country which is gifted by Almighty with huge resources. A population of 20 million Muslims in Russia is not insignificant. In fact, there are many countries in the Islamic world which have populations of 100,000, 200,000, or 3 million or 4 million. So in a way, 20 million Muslims in Russia is a very powerful force. And I think there should be a recognition of that. I think the sad part is, when we talk about the Islamic world, I have had the privilege of being associated with OIC conferences from its very inception. OIC is an important organization, but sadly it has not lived up to its expectations of the people of the Islamic world. I mean, 1.6 billion Muslims, and if we were to look at the performance of the OIC, I think there is much to be desired. Secondly, the Islamic world today is really at a crossroad and is going through one of the most critical times that it ever has faced. So the point I'm trying to stress here is that I think it's important that we look inwards first and see why we have got to this stage of our sort of political and economic situation. It's very critical. There are wars, there are civil wars, there are revolutions, there are all sorts of things that are happening. And then, of course, there is the birth of these transnational forces that are a threat not only to the Islamic world, but are a threat to almost all parts of the region. Because these particular organizations are growing. They're not reducing. They're growing. And in fact, they have been able to attract a lot of attention of not only the Muslim population, but also in the West. So I would like to emphasize that all those countries of the Islamic world need to look at themselves. There's no reason for us to be blaming anybody else or blaming our stars for our faults. The point I want to underline in my concluding remarks is that if Russia is a very important country in the world, Russia can contribute to the development and progress of the countries that have Islam as a religion. But I think it has to have a roadmap of economic cooperation, of strong trade relations, of strong social and social development. And in fact, Russia is a country which is a reservoir of not only technology, but also of how you can help countries in our part of the world train in human resources, development in technology, in science. I think these are the solid parameters which will help us to develop a very close bond between Russia and the countries in the Islamic world. So I think in my concluding remarks, I would say that we need to develop. I think what you need to do, Ambassador Popov, is to ask us what are the various initiatives that both Russia and the relevant country can take in promoting economic cooperation, in promoting cooperation in the field of science and education, science and technology, in the field of education in particular, because I think one of the major problems in the countries in the Islamic world is lack of education. I mean, if you look at the Islamic world today, there are several universities, but not one university in the Islamic world has made it into the, let's say, 100 best universities in the world. So I would say these are the areas where Russia can make a great contribution. Thank you very much.
Спасибо.